Oh my God, guys.
We're finally doing it.
We're doing it.
We're here.
We have a podcast.
We're starting a podcast. Like, not a how-to, but we're doing it.
Like,
finally.
we're just winging this shit. We're going to figure it out.
I feel like that's the way to do it. That's literally the only way to do it, is to figure it out as you go.
Right. Okay, so I guess we can start with introductions. Like,
okay, let's go. Let's do it. I'm the older twin, so I'm starting first, Jeizel.
I was going to do your intro. Like, I was going to be like, and let me introduce.
Oh, like, okay, right. We can do that. Big up me.
Okay, so I was going to say, before I was really interrupted, I was going to say, let's welcome the one, the only, the girl that thinks she's more famous than Beyonce. It's the famously unknown Joleen.
Thank you. Insert the applause right now. Thank you. Please, everyone, sit down. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
You're annoying. She's annoying.
All right. So without further, the one, the only, the famously unknown Jeizel.
The crowd goes crazy.
The Jeizel.
Welcome, guys, to Famously Unknown. This is our podcast that we're starting for the new year, 2024.
Welcome, 2024.
We've literally been trying to get this podcast going since 2022.
Yeah.
But we didn't know about podcasts.
And we still don't.
And we,
fairly still don't know a damn thing.
We just feel like we're famous and, like, people need to know us.
Yeah.
So.
I'm, like, the most unknown famous person you know. Like, because no one knows who I am, but I am somebody.
Yeah, like...
I get stopped at my job. All I'm saying is I work a 9 to 5, and the girlies that come into my Sephora be like, Joleen. So I'll be like,
me. So, no, but I feel like we're locally famous. Yeah, we feel like we're like locally famous, and we feel like the rest of the world deserves to know about us. Like, the whole Bronx knows about us.
To be fair, our demographic, every time we see it on TikTok and on Instagram, shows the Bronx.
Yeah, so
I feel like when I come to this borough, I am a big deal. Like, I'll be on the bus, like...
They don't even know.
Someone knows me.
I be on my Bow Wow shit, like, they don't even know.
And they be knowing, because people be writing, like, I saw you.
I saw you on the bus.
I saw you. I'm like, oh my God, I was only there for like 3 stops. And I got on for free.
And we're going to do this thing during our podcast where we kind of fit our name into our podcast. So I really want to do start like a FU kind of thing because it's famously unknown.
Yeah, so FU. And that's going to be like our little tag.
Yeah,
right?
like we're going to be like FU, bitch.
Yeah,
like,
it's always going to be a FU. So when we say FU, it's like... FU. Like,
and I feel like famously unknown is like a sarcastic take on like, I'm the shit. Like,
yeah,
we're from New York.
If you know that, if we're like talking about someone that we know is definitely someone that's also fits into the FU category, we're gonna say she's an FU. You know, she's not known like us, but you need to know her. But you need to know her,
right?
Okay.
And I feel like we're gonna get to a point like in the podcast where we could bring people on and just have them talk, but like they're gonna be big deals too. Like,
right.
Yeah, I might not know them, the world might not know them, but to everybody else that knows them in their local circle, they're famous. Like, that's gonna be like our little joke.
Yeah.
For like the pod, like, yeah, we're famous.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
With another FU guest on the show, that's it's gonna be famously unknown as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like you would want to do it just us two for a few and then add on people? Like,
yeah, I mean, if the topic allows for it, for anyone to come into the conversation, then of course, I feel like duh, but
yeah,
me and Jeizel together are a fucking key. Like, we don't need any more personalities more than what we have here. This is a balance of both.
Okay.
So if we're getting into that, what do you want to start off with? Do we want to start off with introductions of ourselves so we can at least, give our audience something to know about us, give a little shimmy take on us real quick, and then we can probably get into some questions.
I feel like, so when we were on live the other day, we were just talking about the podcast and starting it, they had said like, who are you guys individually?
Good question. Good
Yeah,
question.
I'm like, that's a really good question because like everybody knows us as twins, but it's like I feel like people have gotten to know us more individually, especially on our TikToks.
Yeah.
But it's like this would be cool to like directly talk to them and like with subjects and seeing how we each think and like how we're not the same person.
Yeah.
Like we love each other, you know, we basically are the same person. That's my twin in them. But we are different people. Like,
yeah, we look the same, but we are like two completely different personalities. Love you though. Love you though.
do you want to start since you're the oldest?
Oh yes, I will start. I was not gonna be modest. I was not gonna say no, it's okay. No, it's okay, I will start. So what was the question again?
So the question is, who are you individually? Like outside of the twin, outside of the mom, who is Joleen?
Oh, that's a good juicy question. I should have done my little homework. I should have wrote down something. But okay. So who is Joleen? I would say that Joleen is a very ambitious person. I feel like I come from a different cut of cloth. So technically, Jeizel and I are middle children. Like, so we're in the middle. We're a middle pregnancy. So the way that, like, I feel like I operate is kind of on a very, I've always been very dependent on someone else. So now as an individual, in the time that I thought I would be able to learn myself as a person, I had a baby. So now I'm like,
Yeah.
just as Joleen, I still don't really know who I am, but I know pieces of myself that I'm very confident in. So I'm very confident. I'm very ambitious. I am a big hustler. I'm very hardworking. I love challenges and I love to love. Like, I love to show my love and affection through anything that is like gratitude or just like, I'm very, how you say, selfless. Like
Yeah, you are.
I'm like, I give my all to everyone around me because I truly feel like if you don't show if you don't show who you are with the way you treat people around you, you don't get that in return. So I don't like to just be nice to small people. I don't want to be nice to everyone. When I enter a room, I speak. When I go on a bus, I say hello. When I enter anywhere, I demand the room because I want that attention, because I ask for that attention, and I love that attention because I want for that to reciprocate in my life. I want everything to always shine. So I don't dim my light no more. Like it's a big thing with me, but I feel like that's definitely who I am as a person. I'm very
I love that.
in tune with who I am, and I know who I am. Still learning myself, but like I feel like I can confidently say those words about me and feel like that describes Joleen in a strong way.
That. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
That was really good. I love that you said that because I'm very passionate and I'm very like strategic about everything I do. So Jeizel as an individual is like, Jeizel is a very like, I've had my life planned out since I can remember. Like I used to have like notebooks talking about what I want to do in my life. Like I'm like, I want to be married. I want to have kids later on in life. I want to be rich. Like I want to be famous. I want to help people. I always felt like my purpose was bigger than me. Like I've always said that, right? For years, like for years, I've always said that. And it's like I'm just very like driven by myself. Like I'm very observant and I see how everybody else like makes their life, and then I choose like I'll like look at someone else's life and be like, I like that little aspect of their life. I like the kind of person that they are. So like I want to adapt some of those qualities. Or I'll be like, oh, I don't really like the way that person moves and how they're kind of like still for so long. Like I will never like be like someone like that. And like, you know me, I don't take advice from nobody. I don't give a rat's ass what you gotta say. Because if I can't switch place with you, I cannot relate to you. Okay?
Preach.
Like, so me, like as an individual.
F you, okay?
F you, like,
okay? Because that's a fact right there.
Like, girl, fuck you. I can't take no advice from you. I don't want to switch place with you, girl. But yeah, I'm just like, all of that goes back to like, you know, my business, like the way I do my content, the person I found to be my fiance, like it's just very like structured. And, you know, life doesn't always go as you plan it, but I'm very like, if I can get it to go my way, then we're going to have a better outcome. Like, that's just the way my brain works.
Is definitely the captain to her own ship. I promise you guys that. Like, literally, the reason why I know a lot of things that I know is because my twin sister was like, you don't get it? You don't understand? I'm just like, no, Jeizel, I didn't see it like that.
I literally did all the information today on how to start this dang podcast. And I had her sit on the couch, watch a YouTube video, and then I had her watch a podcast that I know damn well Jolie never watched a podcast.
Never.
She's never listened to a podcast. She never watched one.
Never.
She just goes off of vibes. This girl was just like, yeah, let's start a podcast. Has no idea what a podcast is. I show her one today. She's like, wow, this is really good.
Really good.
Mind you, the podcast broke up already.
I'm like, that was like, it could be, like, we could do that. They said their podcast was $1 million podcast. So are we. So we're going to speak that right now into existence. This is $1 million podcast right now, okay? Cheers.
Anybody
sister.
with some money should invest now.
Okay, so now with answering who are we individually, what do you think our next question is going to be? I know we have some written down.
Okay, so we have some questions written down. We actually were like looking at different stuff online, and then we also pulled some from the Know For Sure podcast because I really like the questions they had. They had these cards. It was called what was it called?
She said she got it on an Instagram ad. Or
I think it was the and yeah, something like that.
Like game cards, something.
Yeah, they were like game cards.
Starters.
Yeah, so we just pulled some questions, and I guess we could just kind of like look and then just pick a question. Like,
okay.
I don't want to think about it too much. I just kind of want to just like pick one and be like, all right, this is the one we're going to answer.
Yeah, so let's open the conversation. Let's do it.
Okay, so let me start. Okay, what's one thing you would change about yourself?
Oh my God.
We started like that?
That was a question I added.
Dang, Jolie.
I'm so sorry. And that question was geared to you, but I didn't mean it for you to get it right away.
F you.
I'm like, we love to have these kind of conversations because me and Jeizel are so open with each other of just like, also just learning to accept ourselves in how we are physically and mentally. So we're very big on this question. So I want you to answer the question so like you can give people a little bit of clarity of what we get into.
I feel like you would be surprised with like what I have to say.
Okay, let's hear it.
So me and my fiance were talking. Me and Jared were talking, and so basically something happens, and me and him like it was just like my hormones are out of whack. Like I'm gonna be honest. I started to do birth control, and I've just been all over the place, and I just been very hormonal. So I was like feeling like something was wrong, like I didn't feel right. And then I basically was just talking to him and just telling him like, oh, this is not what I want, this is not what I planned. Like I was saying earlier, like I'm a very like structured person.
Very strategic.
I'm like I don't want to like have anything wrong. Like and you guys are probably figuring out like, I didn't want to be pregnant. Like so I was just like it was like a whole day. I was like basically like slouching around, like just being real like sad, crying. And he was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? And I was just telling him, I'm like, I don't want to be pregnant. Like, I'm too young. Like, I don't want to deal with that right now. And he's like, babe, you got to stop feeling like because you wrote out exactly how you wanted your life to go, it's going to go like that. So something that I would want to change, and I was telling him, I'm like, you know what? Like, he had me thinking, he bought me a pregnancy test. I was not pregnant, so I was very happy. But after that, I was like, Jeizel, you have to chill. Like, you have to chill. You have to stop thinking that, like, you're doing something wrong. Like, bitch, fuck you. You're 27 years old. You can be pregnant if you want to be pregnant. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's just like, I have like this mentality, this structure in my head that it's like, I cannot get off of this like straight train that I'm riding. Like, it doesn't turn. It doesn't do anything. Like, it needs to go straight. And then I was like, he was also telling me, he's like, you constantly feel like you're like not successful, like you're not doing enough. He's like, I've literally seen you do everything that you wanted to do. Like, you have goals every single year and you achieve every single one of those goals, and it's like you're never satisfied enough where you sit there and be like, I did that. Like, and I was like, whoa, I need to change that in the sense of like, I need to just breathe and just, what is it, like smell the roses or whatever the hell? Like,
you gotta pause, bitch, and you gotta sometimes you need a fuck you moment. Yeah, sometimes you need a fuck you moment because what he's saying, or like what you took it as, and you understand is that you do succeed a lot in your life, and those small goals should feel like an accomplishment to you. And yes, to anyone who is in it, doesn't feel like even when you accomplish that goal that you really wanted to get to, it doesn't feel like enough because you already got to that. So now you know you can get something bigger.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do have to stop and really give yourself those roses and girl.
Yeah, like
stop and fuck you. Like, you are who you think you are. You are who everyone thinks you are because you work so hard for it. So, like we're saying, like, the whole FU thing, even that, like, we're really famously unknown.
Yeah.
Like, we're so famously unknown
and
that you don't get it. Like,
yeah,
you
like,
really
I don't get it. Like,
you don't see it. And because you don't see it, you don't feel it. But, girl, if you go, like, we literally got invited to go to a high school this Friday to speak. Tomorrow, they're asking us to speak at a high school, and they're asking us to come in. I bet you half them girls already know who we are.
Yeah.
Like, so
are we gonna do it?
Oh my God, I got clients. I don't think I could do it.
Oh, I'm like, I don't think I could do it. I off subject. But yeah, so basically, I would like to change that and just help myself see that, like, I am who I say I am, and I am who I feel like I'm trying to be.
Exactly.
And I need to just, like, you know, ease up on myself, because my fiance was literally like, he made me literally be like eating my words, because he was like, you literally graduated cosmetology school, moved into another suite.
You said you was gonna get engaged too. You did that.
Said you was gonna get engaged. Like you have all these milestone things, and all you keep thinking about, what am I gonna do next year? And he's like, yo, chill. Like, and if you are pregnant, what? Like, and I was like, what? And he's like, what? Like, we can have a kid. Like, and I'm like, he's like, we got our own place. Like, we manage our bills. Like, we're not kids. Like, and I was like, I just feel like a 27-year-old teenager. Like.
I can't be 16 with a kid, babe.
Like, I cannot be 27 with a kid. Like, that's wild. But yes, that is something that I would like to change about myself. That was a good question.
Okay, now my turn. I'm gonna answer a question.
You gotta. These questions is good. Don't nobody got time for this.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. Wait, how do you feel about marriage at this age in your life?
Wow, that's so crazy that you, the single one, would like get that.
Why would I get this question?
Does anyone want to ask you about my wedding?
And they do. I go online for 2 seconds.
Everybody.
When's your sister's wedding? I don't know.
Is it tomorrow? Like, jeez.
Okay. Okay. So the question is, how do I feel about marriage at this age in my life? Okay. So I am a 20 years old. Now I'm 27. How do I feel about marriage? And I'm gonna be very vulnerable and honest here, guys. I love the idea of love, but I will be very honest. This answer might even make me tear up a little bit, because I'm getting teary a little bit. With marriage, I think that's a hard question for me, because I don't know how to take marriage. I feel like you have to grow with someone, and someone has to be willing to grow with you for marriage. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to not be hard on myself and just call myself like a waste away of a woman, because I feel like I had a kid out of wedlock, and I have like, I don't want her ever to see this, but like, I feel like in a sense a bastard child who doesn't have a father either. So I just kind of feel like there's some steps in my life where I failed, and it's hard for me to not like think like that, but that's just kind of how I see it. Like, the same way Jeizel has a plan. I never had a plan for myself, but I didn't ever think that a woman with so much to offer and just such a good personality, I'm just such a good person all around, I never thought that I would be the person to be left alone with a child by myself. But with that being said, I do feel like God gives his biggest battles to his strongest fucking soldiers.
Amen.
So I do feel like, in a way, I needed Elise so I can appreciate who I am as a person and just give my love to someone who just literally just needs it, because that's all they can take from you is your love, because they know nothing else from that. So I would say with marriage is a very difficult thing for me. I have a hard time believing that I'll be able to find love, because I do feel like there's certain aspects of my life that I can't change and I can't go back to. But I do know that there are men who do accept women with kids and stuff, but I just feel like it's a lot of shit that goes into play with that. I'm not gonna lie. So I just feel like, with marriage, it's just, I'm not saying it's not in the cards for me. I'm just saying it's a very hard thing for me to think about in this age of my life and in this stage of my life. It's something very hard for me to think about, because I do feel like there's just a lot of things that go into marriage that I feel like have to be built. I'm only in my 20s, so I don't feel like it's not something that's not possible. And my child is going to get older, so I feel like, everything is possible. Anything can happen, but I do feel like right now it's a very hard topic to think about because of everything that I've been through already, So that's kind of like my take on that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's just so different because, you know, people see me like so like happily engaged and stuff, and it's like me and you don't have the same story. Like we don't like we're twins, we're identical twins. Yeah, it's like we're really two different people, and it's like Jolene is not where I'm at, but it's like we're not like hurry up, get married. It's like you gotta do that shit on your own pace. Like we're in our 20-somethings. This is what we're here for. Like we gotta figure this shit out as it goes. Like I always feel like my sister is an amazing person, so she will find love. And I don't even think that. I think that love will find her. Like I think that when she heals and does like everything you have to do, that you're really gonna like that person's gonna come to you. Like, and you're gonna be like, wow, this man loves me like nobody's business. This man loves Elise like nobody's business. Like, and it's just like you're gonna know. Like you're gonna know. But like right now, it just might not be. Right now, it might just be healing time and, you know, getting to know yourself, getting to know you and your daughter. Your daughter's getting older, like, and just trying to get through that.
So, yeah. But, no, I feel like that is, like a nice, like, feedback for me. Because it's not like it's not possible.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, like, sometimes you have to let out certain stuff so it's in the air. So, you know, you hear yourself say it. Because, you know, even me, hearing me say certain stuff, I'm like, okay, it's not unrealistic. Like, I'm a pretty girl. Like, girl, I cook, I clean. You know, I suck a mean dick.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying. So it's possible. It will happen. So
this girl is crazy. This is my twin, everybody. Okay, these questions are real, like,
they're heavy.
Okay, let me see. Okay, in what way do you feel like we've grown apart?
Oh my God. Jeizel, I'm not ready. You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry because it's like a good thing, not a bad thing. It's just I'm a cry baby. Oh my God, Jolie, we should have got like waterproof mascara.
Like,
we weren't ready.
God. I have on Jeizel's drugstore fucking concealer.
Do not come for me.
I'm not coming for her because I also use Fit Me by Maybelline.
Oh my God. But okay, in what ways have we grown apart? Okay, so I feel like it's like in a good way. Like, so me and Jolene were very close to the point where it was like very close. Like we didn't make a move without each other. Like, and it was like, you know, sometimes that's very like that's a lot because siblings, they get to develop themselves individually. We're identical twins, so we never got to do that in like learning about ourselves individually until we got to adulthood.
That's true.
So like we're talking about like since we were born, elementary school, middle school, and high school. We've been in the same schools, same friend groups. Like everything was like the same. Like if you didn't hang out with Jolene, you wasn't hanging out with me. If you wasn't hanging out with me, you wasn't hanging. Like it's like everything was very together. So even in college, we're very dependent on each other. And yeah, we started like figuring out like, oh, I like these kind of boys, or I like these kind of boys, or I like math, and I like English. Like me and Jolene were tutors for English. Like we ended up both being English tutors in college. Like so we're very similar, but like we knew that we had to like find ourselves. We knew that we had to like find ourselves individually. So basically, when we got back from college, started like living different lives, kind of. Jolene was working in Sephora, and I got a job as a administrative assistant in Brooklyn. So I was going to Brooklyn, 2 hours away from Harlem, every single day. Like I would be like coming home at like 6, and then Jolene would just be like, you know, getting out of work. She worked in like Manhattan, right?
Yeah, I worked in London.
So she would get off of work and like be home in like 20 minutes. Like, so she was hanging out during the summer. I was like exhausted and I was working and stuff. So we had to like figure out how to put each other apart. And from there, like that was really hard. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother podcast. Right. Because I want to kind of get to the question. Like, but basically like that was like the first time we experienced being apart. So definitely say, you know, Jolene choosing to have a kid and then me having a relationship. This was happening around the same time. Like, so we were both like doing different things at the same time. Like,
I think you had been with Jared already like a year prior to me getting pregnant.
Yeah.
But the switch in the relationship definitely happened around the same time, only because you moved out the same week I gave birth to you. So literally we got to experience like a whole new type of world without each other. And it was like, I was under the impression that my sister was going to live with me at least for like the first couple months of me having my first child, her first niece. So I'm like, girl. But it didn't end up going that way.
I couldn't do it.
I remember that was the hardest time, like, I feel like, of our lives. Like, and we tested the limits.
We were torn, like, because remember, this is so crazy. Like, we're really going to be, like, admitting stuff on this podcast. But remember, we made, like, a vow to each other. Like,
we said we would never get pregnant until we're rich. Like, we said, like, we couldn't have poor children.
And, like, y'all probably think that's, like, crazy to say because, you know, shit happens. But, like, me and Jolene were so into being successful. And we were so young and we just wanted that for ourselves. Like, we just really wanted, like, we were hungry.
And even the way we worked, guys, like, when I first started doing ponytails, I could do a ponytail in an hour. I was taking 10 clients a day. I was up from 9 to 9 at night doing hair. If you wanted me to squeeze you in, I squeezed you in, baby.
You was squozed, okay?
You was squozed, okay? You was in it. Fuck you, girl, because you was in there, okay? You know. So that's originally how we got the FU title, okay? How we got really famously unknown is by them ponytails. Yeah. Because we were the ponytail
If you know,
girls
you
from
know,
Harlem.
right.
You know. But that was very hard on us because it was for the first time, it was like she wasn't at my reach and I wasn't at hers. So she had to deal with, no offense, Jared. She had to really deal with Jared firsthand. Like, he wasn't in the scenery of her whole family. So even if she got mad at him, she couldn't run away to her sisters and be like, fuck you for a second, let me go see my sisters. No. She had to literally live in it, be in it. And I remember getting calls like, I don't know if I can do this. And me, postpartum, like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, like, I feel like, and that's why I say, like, I feel like it was a good apart thing because we really got to, like, grow apart, but, like, also still lean on each other for support for, like, these things that we were going through. Yeah. Like, you know, because, like, moving with a man, you better do it before you get married. Well, that's all I got to say. Because you got to figure out if you hate this or not. Like, Thank goodness I love my man. We learned to love each other in this one household.
Again and again and again.
Right. Don't you feel like we be going through our honeymoon stages? Like, I feel like right now we're like in another honeymoon stage. It's so cute.
They love each other so much right now.
I'm like, ew, what is it? Like, it's the ring. I'm telling you,
should have seen them 3 years ago. I promise you. When they moved into the apartment,
we wanted to wring each other's necks. Like, but it's you know, it's an adjustment. So yeah, I'm like, that's one way I feel like we grew apart, but like it was beneficial.
Yeah, I feel like it had to happen. And guys, keep in mind, we were 23. This is not little kids. This was 3 years ago. We have just grown apart.
If you're a twin, if you're an identical twin, and like your life, it's like everyone telling you that you guys are the same person, you believe that shit for long. Like,
it's hard to not believe it because you're so in it and because everyone's just telling you guys like, oh, if they see you, where's Jeizel? If they see Jeizel, where's Joleen?
Like, it's like, where's the twins? Why aren't you guys together? Or it wasn't even names. It was like, where's the other twin?
Yeah, where's the other twin?
Where the other twin?
Where the other twin at?
Hi.
I feel like 3 years later, we finally made it to a point where people ask us, oh, you're a twin?
Yes.
Oh my God.
None of my clients know.
That is the biggest compliment. I don't think anyone understands how big of a compliment that is because my entire life has been twin, yo, twin. So the fact that people be like, oh my God, you're a twin?
You're an identical twin?
Can I see? I'm like, actually,
you want to see her?
My screensaver here.
She's actually my screensaver.
That's not even me. That's her. That's actually her. Like,
yeah, I love that. I love that for us because we worked really hard for it.
So I'm like, that was a little hard question, but I do feel like we worked so hard to be separate people. So I'm like, in ways that we've seen ourselves grow apart, we've also seen ourselves grow into the women that we are.
Yeah.
So I feel like, cheers to growing apart, for real, because we needed that. Cheers to growing apart, because if we were to be too dependent on each other, I would think it would be a little bit sickening. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, and you know, you be seeing those crazy twins on the shows, and they like be trying to eat the same carrot.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be the same size as you. I actually don't want to date the same man as you.
Like, my man like me a little big.
I'm alright.
We good.
I'm alright. I'm okay. I'm good.
All right, so let's get into the next question.
Okay, another question. I think after this question, we're definitely gonna like do our little outro and wrap up, right? So this is gonna be the last question.
Oh my God, it's been 34 minutes already?
Yeah, girl. That's why I'm paying attention to the time. I'll be the timekeeper. I will be the timekeeper.
Okay, so I guess we can answer one more question, and then, you know, hit our outro and see ya in episode 2.
Okay, and I think the last question we can both answer. So this last question is going to be a really good one. I like it. What's one piece of advice that you would really want to give to me? Wait, one piece of advice I really want to give you. I guess the same thing. Thing. What's one piece of advice that I would give to you? Okay, so for me, I feel like you touched on it earlier with not being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But I also would want to touch on that again with not being so hard on yourself. One piece of advice that I would want to give you is just like really bask in your accomplishments while they're happening, because you tend to have to pile everything on at the end of the year and you're like, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. But you're not happy about it because it already happened. So I feel like when it happens, you have to be a little bit more celebratory for yourself. You have to be willing to like, girl, even if it's 500 more followers, get yourself a cake. Like, you know, like I feel like you have to be happier for accomplishing the small things, because we're very big on setting ourselves up for goals, long-term goals, short-term goals. But for you, I want you to be a little more comfortable with celebrating your short-term goals and not just waiting for the long-term ones, because you'll get the house one day, but you have to appreciate the apartment that you're in right now. You know, you have to appreciate. We could have been separated at birth and we could have never even knew each other, you know, but we're here. We're older, we're growing. You are not me, I'm not you. I don't expect to be you. And I've had to accept that for my own self, for my own sanity, because there's a lot of shit that I wish I was at in your in our lives,
we can both like try and compare and still be.
We can go jab for jab and still be wrong for each other's lives, you know. But in this stage of our lives, I just want you. My advice to you is just accept where you are and just accept that you are who you are and you're an amazing fucking person. Like, you're an amazing person, fat, skinny, tall, whatever, like drunk, sober, you're an amazing person. Like, you're all around, you're an amazing fucking person. Like, you are my best friend, you're my twin sister, you're my everything. Like, so that's my advice to you is stop fucking comparing yourself to me, okay? Fuck you. You are you. Fuck you.
Okay, bitch. Okay, so one piece of advice that I would give to you.
What's the advice?
I feel like I'm always giving Joleen advice and she never listens to me. But let's see. Let's see if she'll take this advice. Okay, so one piece of advice that I would say for Joleen, I want you to like see that you're really a prize, like, and like you touched on it earlier with like feeling like you're not worthy of like, you know, being loved, or like you don't see it for yourself and you feel like you're damaged goods. Like, I never ever like would think that my sister would like, you know, think that she's damaged goods, because the bitch is the prize. Like, and it's like, I feel like having a kid give you a little more razzle dazzle. Like, everybody be like, oh, her coochie good. Like, obviously, like, duh, like, she got a kid. So it's like,
never thought about it like that.
Like, some guys really do see it like, oh, and she a good mother. Like, it's like I think when people can see everything that you do for your daughter and how good of a person, amazing of a person you are, like for yourself, like you show up for yourself, you fucking put your makeup on, you put your hair, you do, like you take care of yourself. There's girls that let themselves go to the point where it's like, you don't even recognize them. Or to your shade, we know some girls that you don't even recognize
Fuck
them.
you, girl.
Yeah, like, I'm so sorry, girl, but you ain't.
F you.
Like, they let themselves go because they're so worried about like their kid and stuff. And like, you've always had this personality where you're able to care about everyone, everything around you. Off topic, I literally saw this girl on live yesterday go from cooking for the whole family in the house to then fucking our cousins come out of nowhere and she's over here doing hair. I couldn't believe this girl on live. I was like, every 30 minutes I'm checking on this girl, she's doing something else. Like, you have such a big heart, and I just want you to know that, like, stop looking for love. Like, stop looking for love, because that person's gonna find you. And when that person finds you, it's gonna be like fireworks. I feel like you may have something. I'm not gonna touch too much on it. But I feel like, you know, that person has to find you. And you're not someone that you could go and start looking for people, because your personality is too big. Someone gotta approach you with the big love. Like, because you're already a big love person. Like, you're already so nurturing that you cannot go seeking for it. Like, someone has to find you. Like, it's just like someone got to offer you the moon and the world, like, because you do it for everyone else. So that's my advice to you, is like, let it find you, and stop putting those negative thoughts in your head that like you won't, you're not, you can't, there's no way someone can. Like, don't do that. Cause you got good coochie.
I don't know it.
You got a kid and she made cute. And I would look at the kid and I'd be like, oh, she made cute babies. And that baby daddy definitely black. But she look good. Like me and my fiance be on her story. Like you seen Jeizel Joleen post? You see the good morning thing? You seen that man died? Oh, damn.
They took him.
And it was like me and him are tuned in. Like every morning I'm like, it's 8. She up with them kids.
Good morning.
I'm like, good morning. I'm obsessed with you. And you should be obsessed with yourself to the point where someone else needs to be obsessed with you.
Like, I literally just want for someone to be as obsessed with me as I am with myself. I don't know if that's really good for me.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be good.
Probably not.
More nurturing than obsessed.
I just need someone to, like, calm this obsession down. I just need someone to, like, mellow me out. I have a little boo stank, but we don't talk about him.
Right. It's the first podcast. Let's relax, people.
We're not going to talk about him. So with all of that being said, I feel like this was a great first episode to our podcast.
It was.
I know you guys are going to be itching for more. So be sure to turn on your notifications because we do plan on releasing an episode weekly.
Yeah, I feel like weekly. Expect to hear more of this. Like, we definitely would love to, like, add more aspects to the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, right now, we want to focus on, like, doing, like, a nice little intro, doing some little questions, even, like, trending topics. We might come on here talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all heard about that? Y'all heard
I want to hear about the tunnel.
That tunnel in Brooklyn. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, I literally can't.
It might be my Roman Empire. Oh, my God.
It is. Like,
the damn tunnel.
Where did this little...
Did they dig it with a spoon? I need to know.
He looked like a Jewish little mouse coming out of the thing.
I
was
cannot.
like,
okay, so definitely hot topics we will hit on next time. But definitely share with us what you guys would want to hear more.
If we should add like the icebreaker kind of questions to the podcast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. But I can't be crying all the time.
No, I love a good crying session.
I like a good cry.
It really does it for me.
It does. I'm not gonna lie. I like to cry a little bit. I'm a Cancer.
Well, with that being said, your favorite
famously unknown. Okay, so we're gonna sign out. We love you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm Jeizel.
I'm Joleen.
And this was Famously Unknown. The podcast.
The podcast, guys.
Adios.
Adios.